Mexico. A land of vibrant colors, ancient whispers, and captivating stories. From the sun-drenched deserts of the north to the lush rainforests of the south, Mexico's diverse landscapes hint at the rich tapestry of its past. Towering pyramids pierce the sky, remnants of a time when mighty civilizations held sway. Echoes of ancient rituals and beliefs linger in the air, whispering tales of gods and mortals. Journey with us now as we delve into the heart of Mexico's past, uncover the mysteries of its ancient civilizations. Those architects of grand cities and intricate belief systems explore the rise and fall of empires, the clash of cultures, and the enduring spirit of a people. This is more than just a history lesson, it's an exploration of the human spirit, a testament to resilience, and a celebration of the enduring legacy of Mexico. Section 2. Echoes of Ancient Civilizations. Imagine a time before the conquistadors, before the arrival of European ships on distant shores. Step back into a world where the Olmecs, the mother culture of Mesoamerica, flourished along the Gulf Coast. Picture their colossal stone heads, enigmatic monuments to a civilization yet to be fully understood. Journey further back in time to the Maya, masters of mathematics, astronomy, and art. Their towering pyramids adorned with intricate glyphs still stand as testaments to their ingenuity. Venture into the heart of Mesoamerica, where the Zapotecs carved their cities into the mountains, leaving behind the breathtaking ruins of Monte Alban. Stand in awe of Teotihuacan, the city of the gods, a sprawling metropolis that predates the Aztecs, its wide avenues and imposing pyramids hinting at a powerful and sophisticated society. Section 3. Cradles of Culture and Innovation. These ancient civilizations were not just builders of stone and cities, they were creators of knowledge, innovators who shaped the course of history. The Maya, with their complex calendar system and sophisticated understanding of astronomy, tracked the movements of the heavens with remarkable accuracy. The Olmecs, believed to have developed the first writing system in Mesoamerica, laid the foundation for the cultural achievements of their successors. From the depths of their jungles, the Maya cultivated cacao, the food of the gods, which would later captivate the world. The Zapotecs, masters of weaving and pottery, created exquisite works of art that reflected their unique cultural identity. These civilizations, though separated by time and distance, were united by a shared heritage, a deep connection to the land, and an unwavering belief in the power of human ingenuity. Section 4, A Tapestry of Time. But the story of Mexico is not confined to the ancient past. It's a story of conquest and colonization, of the arrival of the Spanish, and the profound impact they had on the indigenous populations. It's a story of revolution and independence, of heroes like Miguel Hidalgo and José María Morelos, who fought for freedom from Spanish rule. It's a story of social upheaval and political change, of the Mexican Revolution and its lasting impact on the country's social fabric. And it's a story of resilience and adaptation, of a people who have faced countless challenges throughout their history and emerged stronger, their cultural identity intact. Join us now as we embark on this extraordinary journey through time, exploring the complete history of Mexico, a land of ancient wonders, enduring spirit, and boundless potential. Our journey begins in the humid lowlands of Mexico's Gulf Coast, a region known as Mesoamerica. Here, amidst the dense jungles and fertile river valleys, a remarkable civilization took root, the Olmecs. Emerging around 1500 BCE, the Olmecs are considered the mother culture of Mesoamerica, the wellspring from which later civilizations drew inspiration and innovation. They were skilled farmers, cultivating maize, beans, and squash, the staples of the Mesoamerican diet. But the Olmecs were more than just farmers. They were astronomers, artists, and architects, laying the foundations for a cultural flowering that would span centuries. Their influence extended far beyond their heartland, spreading through trade networks and cultural exchange, reaching distant corners of Mesoamerica and leaving an indelible mark on the civilizations that followed. Perhaps the most enduring image of the Olmecs is that of the colossal stone heads, massive sculptures carved from basalt boulders. These enigmatic figures, some weighing up to 50 tons, depict rulers or important individuals, their stern expressions and elaborate headdresses hinting at the power and sophistication of Olmec society. The sheer scale of these sculptures, some reaching over 10 feet in height, is a testament to the Olmec's architectural prowess and artistic vision. These colossal heads, along with other intricate carvings and sculptures, provide a glimpse into the Olmec worldview, their belief systems, and their relationship with the natural world. They serve as a reminder that even the most ancient civilizations possessed a deep understanding of art, symbolism, and the power of monumental architecture to inspire awe and convey authority. As the Olmec civilization waned, a new power rose in the jungles of Mesoamerica, the Maya. Flourishing between 250 and 900 CE, the Maya built a civilization renowned for its intellectual achievements, artistic brilliance, and architectural grandeur. Their cities, scattered across the Yucatan Peninsula and beyond, were marvels of urban planning, adorned with towering pyramids, elaborate palaces, and intricate ball courts. The Maya were keen observers of the heavens, developing a sophisticated understanding of astronomy and mathematics. Their calendar system, based on intricate cycles of time, was remarkably accurate, surpassing even the Julian calendar used in Europe at the time. The Maya believed in a cyclical nature of time, with periods of creation and destruction, a belief reflected in their art, mythology, and rituals. Step into the heart of Palenque, a Mayan city nestled in the lush rainforests of Chiapas, Mexico. Here, amidst the ruins of temples and palaces, the past comes alive through the whispers of ancient stories etched in stone. Palenque was once ruled by Pakal the Great, a visionary king who ascended to the throne in 615 CE. During his reign, Palenque experienced a golden age, its power and influence extending far beyond its borders. Pakal's legacy is forever enshrined in the Temple of Inscriptions, a towering pyramid that houses his tomb. The intricate carvings that adorn the temple walls tell the story of Pakal's life, his lineage, and his connection to the gods, providing invaluable insights into Mayan beliefs about the afterlife, the role of kingship, and the interconnectedness of the earthly and spiritual realms. As the classical Maya civilization waned in the south, a new power emerged in central Mexico, the Aztecs. Originally a nomadic tribe from northern Mexico, the Aztecs, or Mexica as they called themselves, arrived in the Valley of Mexico in the 13th century. Legend has it that their patron god, Huitzilopochtli, the hummingbird god of war, guided them to an island in Lake Texcoco. There they witnessed an eagle perched on a cactus, devouring a serpent, a sign that this was the chosen place for their new home. This auspicious event marked the founding of Tenochtitlan, the future capital of the Aztec Empire. From humble beginnings, the Aztecs, through a combination of military prowess, strategic alliances, and political acumen, rose to dominate central Mexico, forging an empire that stretched from the Gulf Coast to the Pacific Ocean. Built on an island in the middle of Lake Texcoco, Tenochtitlan was a marvel of engineering and urban planning. Causeways connected the city to the mainland, while canals crisscrossed its interior, serving as waterways for transportation and irrigation. At its heart stood the sacred precinct, a complex of temples, palaces, and plazas, a testament to Aztec religious beliefs and imperial power. Towering pyramids dedicated to Huitzilopochtli and Tlaloc, the god of rain, dominated the skyline, their whitewashed facades gleaming in the sun. Markets bustled with activity, offering goods from far and wide. while priests conducted elaborate rituals atop the pyramids, their chants echoing across the lake. Tenochtitlan, with its estimated population of 200,000 people, was one of the largest cities in the world at the time, a testament to the Aztecs' organizational skills and their ability to create a thriving metropolis in the heart of a lake. Section 3. A legacy of blood and beauty. The Aztecs were a complex and often contradictory civilization. They were renowned for their military prowess, their warriors feared throughout Mesoamerica. They believed in a cyclical nature of time, with periods of creation and destruction, and their religion reflected this belief. Human sacrifice was an integral part of Aztec ritual, a way to appease the gods and ensure the continued existence of the world. Captives taken in battle were often sacrificed atop the pyramids, their hearts offered to the sun god. Yet, the Aztecs were also patrons of the arts, skilled artisans who created exquisite works of gold, silver and feathers. Their poetry and songs celebrated the beauty of the natural world, the fleeting nature of life, and the power of human emotion. The Aztecs left behind a legacy of both blood and beauty, a reminder that even the most powerful civilizations are capable of both great cruelty and profound artistic expression. Section 4. The Spanish arrive, shadows on the horizon. In the early 16th century, the Aztec Empire, at the height of its power, faced a new and unexpected threat: the arrival of the Spanish. In 1519, Hernán Cortés, a Spanish conquistador driven by ambition and gold, landed on the coast of Mexico with a small force of soldiers. Cortés, through a combination of cunning diplomacy, ruthless military tactics, and a healthy dose of luck, exploited existing rivalries among the indigenous populations. He forged alliances with those who resented Aztec rule, enlisting their aid in his campaign against Tenochtitlan. The Aztecs, initially dismissive of the Spanish, soon realized the magnitude of the threat they posed. Their weapons, though formidable, were no match for Spanish steel, gunpowder and horses, animals never before seen in Mesoamerica. Section 5. The Fall of an Empire, a clash of worlds. The clash between the Aztecs and the Spanish was a clash of two worlds, two vastly different cultures with vastly different beliefs. The Aztecs, with their complex social hierarchy, their reverence for the natural world, and their belief in the cyclical nature of time, could not comprehend the Spanish thirst for gold, their religious zeal, and their unwavering belief in their own superiority. The siege of Tenochtitlan, which lasted for months, was a brutal and bloody affair. The Aztecs, led by the valiant Cuauhtémoc, fought fiercely to defend their city, their homes, and their way of life. But the Spanish, aided by their indigenous allies and a devastating smallpox epidemic that ravaged the Aztec population, eventually prevailed. The fall of Tenochtitlan in 1521 marked the end of the Aztec Empire, a pivotal moment in history that ushered in a new era of Spanish colonialism in Mexico. The fall of Tenochtitlan sent shockwaves through Mesoamerica. The mighty Aztec Empire, which had seemed invincible just a few years earlier, lay in ruins, its once great city smouldering under the Spanish yoke. For the indigenous people who had lived under Aztec rule, the Spanish conquest brought about a profound and often traumatic transformation. Their world, their beliefs, their very way of life were irrevocably altered. The Spanish, with their insatiable appetite for gold and their unwavering belief in their own cultural superiority, imposed their will on the land and its people. Ancient temples were razed, their stones repurposed to build Spanish churches and palaces. Indigenous populations were decimated by disease, warfare, and forced labor. The old ways, the ancient rituals and beliefs were suppressed, driven underground, where they would endure in secret, passed down from generation to generation. Hernán Cortés, the architect of the conquest, became the first governor of New Spain, a vast territory that encompassed much of present-day Mexico and Central America. He established a system of encomiendas, granting Spanish colonists the right to extract labor and tribute from the indigenous population in exchange for their supposed protection and Christianization. This system, while enriching for the Spanish elite, proved disastrous for the indigenous people, who were subjected to brutal exploitation and forced labor. Cortés, though hailed as a hero in Spain, became a symbol of oppression and exploitation in the eyes of the indigenous people. His name, forever etched in the annals of Mexican history, would evoke both admiration for his military genius and revulsion for the suffering he inflicted upon the land and its people. Over the next 3 centuries, Mexico, under Spanish colonial rule, underwent a dramatic transformation. The Spanish crown established a complex system of governance, with viceroys ruling in the king's name. Silver mines, discovered in the north, fueled the Spanish Empire's wealth, transforming Mexico into a global center of silver production. Cities like Mexico City, built on the ruins of Tenochtitlan, became centers of colonial power, their streets bustling with merchants, priests, and bureaucrats. Universities were founded, bringing European learning and culture to the New World. Yet, this veneer of civilization masked a darker reality. The indigenous population, though granted some protections under Spanish law, remained largely marginalized, relegated to the lowest rungs of colonial society. Section 4. Faith and Fire. The spread of Christianity. One of the most profound impacts of Spanish colonialism was the introduction of Christianity. Catholic missionaries arriving in the wake of the conquistadors embarked on a fervent campaign to convert the indigenous population. Ancient temples were destroyed, replaced by churches and cathedrals built in the Spanish style. Indigenous deities were demonized, their worship suppressed, as the missionaries sought to replace the old gods with the Christian God. Yet, the conversion process was not always straightforward. Indigenous people often blended elements of their traditional beliefs with Christianity, creating a syncretic faith that incorporated both old and new elements. This blending of cultures, while often forced and unequal, would have a profound impact on the development of Mexican identity in the centuries to come. Section 5. The Silver Thread. Riches and Exploitation. Silver extracted from the mines of Zacatecas and Guanajuato flowed back to Spain, enriching the Spanish crown and fueling the empire's ambitions. Mexico became a vital link in the global trade network, its ports bustling with ships carrying silver, textiles, and other goods to Europe and Asia. Yet the wealth generated by silver mining came at a high price. Indigenous people forced to work in the mines endured brutal conditions, their lives often cut short by accidents, disease, and exhaustion. The silver mines, while a source of wealth for the Spanish Empire, became symbols of exploitation and oppression for the indigenous population. Section 6. A blending of worlds, the birth of mestizaje. Despite the brutality of the conquest and the inequalities of colonial rule, a new cultural identity began to emerge in Mexico: mestizaje. Born from the union of Spanish colonists, indigenous people and Africans brought over as slaves, mestizaje represented a blending of cultures, a fusion of European, indigenous and African traditions. This intermingling of cultures manifested in every aspect of Mexican life, from language and cuisine to music, art and religious practices. Mestizaje, while often born out of tragedy and exploitation, would become a defining characteristic of Mexican identity, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and its ability to create something new and vibrant from the ashes of the old. For 3 centuries, the Spanish held sway over Mexico. The land, rich in silver and resources, flowed with the lifeblood of indigenous labor, all for the benefit of the crown and its distant king. Yet beneath the surface of colonial rule, resentment simmered. The indigenous population, bearing the brunt of forced labor and discriminatory laws, yearned for the freedom of their ancestors. Criollos, those born in Mexico of Spanish descent, chafed under the restrictions imposed by a distant and often indifferent Spain. They saw the wealth of their land siphoned off, their own ambitions thwarted by a system that favored peninsular Spaniards. The Enlightenment, with its ideals of liberty, equality, and self-determination, had found fertile ground in the minds of these disaffected criollos. Secret societies formed, discussing forbidden texts and whispering of revolution. Economic hardship, exacerbated by Spanish policies that favored the mother country, added fuel to the fire. By the turn of the 19th century, Mexico stood on the precipice of change, the seeds of discontent sown and ready to blossom into open rebellion. In the small town of Dolores, Guanajuato, a parish priest named Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla became the unlikely catalyst for revolution. Hidalgo, a man of learning and compassion, had witnessed firsthand the plight of his parishioners, their struggles against poverty and oppression. Inspired by Enlightenment ideals and driven by a deep sense of justice, Hidalgo resolved to take a stand. On the morning of September 16, 1810, as the sun cast its golden rays over the town, Hidalgo climbed the steps of his church and issued a call to arms that would reverberate through the ages. "My children," he cried out, his voice echoing through the plaza, "will you be free? Will you make the effort for your sacred homeland which groans under the yoke of tyranny?" His words, known as the Grito de Dolores, Cry of Dolores, ignited a firestorm of rebellion. People from all walks of life, indigenous peasants armed with machetes and farming tools, criollos disillusioned with Spanish rule, and even some mestizos, heeding the call to fight for a new and independent Mexico. Hidalgo's ragtag army, fueled by righteous anger and a thirst for freedom, swept through central Mexico, capturing towns and cities, their numbers swelling with each victory. The Spanish authorities, caught off guard by the ferocity of the uprising, scrambled to contain the rebellion. Hidalgo's revolution, though lacking in military discipline and strategic planning, drew its strength from the sheer determination of the people. They fought not for personal gain or glory, but for a future where their children could live free from the shackles of colonialism. Hidalgo, though initially reluctant to embrace violence, recognized that the struggle for freedom would demand sacrifice. He understood that the old order, entrenched in its power and privilege, would not relinquish its grip easily. The path to independence would be paved with the blood and courage of those who dared to dream of a different future. The fight for freedom's flame, a legacy ignited. Hidalgo's revolution, though ultimately unsuccessful, marked a turning point in Mexican history. It shattered the illusion of Spanish invincibility, igniting a flame of resistance that would burn for another decade. Though Hidalgo was captured and executed in 1811, his legacy lived on, inspiring others to take up the mantle of leadership. José María Morelos, a priest who had once studied under Hidalgo, emerged as a capable military commander and a visionary leader. Morelos, building on Hidalgo's foundation, fought for a Mexico free from Spanish rule, but also for a society that upheld social justice and equality. He envisioned a nation where all citizens, regardless of their ethnicity or social standing, would enjoy the fruits of freedom. Though Morelos too would meet a tragic end at the hands of the Spanish in 1815, his ideals and his unwavering commitment to independence continued to inspire the fight for a free Mexico. The flame of revolution, once ignited by Hidalgo, refused to be extinguished, its embers carried by a new generation of leaders determined to see their nation free. The winds of change, a new century, a familiar struggle. Mexico, having thrown off Spanish colonialism, faced new challenges. Independence gave way to inequality and oppression. Porfirio Diaz seized control in 1876. His reign brought stability and growth, but at a cost. Modernization benefited a small elite. Indigenous communities toiled in poverty. The winds of change were stirring again. A new generation set the stage for revolution. The spark ignites from fields to battlefields. In 1910, dissatisfaction with Diaz's rule sparked a conflagration. Francisco, first Madero, an idealistic landowner, challenged Diaz. Madero campaigned on political reform and social justice. His message resonated, garnering widespread support. Diaz had Madero imprisoned on trumped-up charges. This act of fraud was the final straw. Madero's Plan de San Luis Potosi ignited the Mexican Revolution. Villa and Zapata legends forged in revolution. Pancho Villa assembled a formidable army in Chihuahua. Villa, a charismatic strategist, fought for the poor. In Morelos, Emiliano Zapata rallied indigenous communities. Zapata's cry, Tierra y Libertad, resonated deeply. Villa and Zapata had different visions for Mexico's future. Section 4. A nation divided, ideals clash on the path to reform. The Mexican Revolution, far from being a monolithic movement, was a complex and often chaotic struggle marked by shifting alliances, betrayals, and internal conflicts. The overthrow of Diaz in 1911, far from ushering in an era of peace and stability, opened a Pandora's box of competing interests and ideologies. Madero, thrust into the presidency, found himself caught between those who sought moderate reforms and those who demanded radical change. His attempts to appease both sides ultimately satisfied neither, and he was overthrown and assassinated in 1913 by Victoriano Huerta, a general who sought to restore the old order. Huerta's brutality and counter-revolutionary ambitions united the disparate revolutionary factions, albeit temporarily. Villa and Zapata, setting aside their differences, joined forces with Venustiano Carranza, a landowner from Coahuila, and Álvaro Obregón, a skilled military strategist, to oust Huerta from power. Huerta's defeat in 1914, however, did little to heal the divisions within the revolutionary camp. Carranza, having assumed the presidency, faced opposition from both Villa and Zapata, who viewed him as too moderate and too willing to compromise with the remnants of the old regime. Section 5. The Revolution's Echo Shaping Modern Mexico. The Mexican Revolution, though officially ending in 1920, cast a long shadow over the country's future. The Constitution of 1917, drafted during the height of the revolution, enshrined many of the ideals for which the revolutionaries had fought, including land reform, labor rights, and the separation of church and state. Yet the path from revolutionary ideals to lasting change proved to be long and arduous. The revolution had cost the lives of an estimated 1 million Mexicans, leaving the country physically and emotionally scarred. The social and political landscape had been transformed, with the old landowning elite replaced by a new generation of revolutionary leaders, many of whom had risen from humble beginnings. The revolution had also unleashed powerful forces of nationalism and social change, empowering ordinary Mexicans to demand a greater say in their own destiny. The legacy of the revolution, however, remained complex and contested. While some celebrated its achievements in bringing about social justice and national unity, others lamented the violence and instability that had accompanied it. A land forged in the fires of change. Gazing back through Mexican history, we see the enduring spirit of its people. From ancient civilizations to revolutionaries fighting for freedom, Mexico's story is one of resilience and adaptation. The land itself bears witness to this past. Towering pyramids stand sentinel over modern cities. Colonial churches blend indigenous and European motifs. Stories of heroes and martyrs are passed down, keeping memory alive. Section 2, Mexico Today. Echoes of the past, visions of the future. Modern Mexico, a nation of over 120 million people, stands at a crossroads. The echoes of its past shape its present, while the 21st century demands new solutions. The legacy of the revolution remains a powerful force in Mexican politics. The struggle for equality and opportunity continues. Mexico today is a vibrant democracy, grappling with issues of poverty, inequality and corruption. It's a nation of immense cultural richness and diversity. From the bustling factories of the north to the indigenous communities of the south, Mexico is a land of contrasts. Mexico's journey is far from over. The challenges it faces are many, but so too are its strengths. Its people have demonstrated their resilience and creativity. History is a living narrative, constantly being written by the choices we make today. The future of Mexico is unwritten. It will be a future shaped by the enduring spirit of its people. Let us draw inspiration from the lessons of the past and celebrate the richness of Mexican